Shawn? Shawn!
2, 1, action!
So how this film came about, I always wanted to do a sci-fi martial arts film, but I wanted to do it in a different way and address the internal struggle of somebody. You think that a lot of the time people who are against you are your greatest enemies, but usually that's not the case. And usually the greatest enemy is yourself. There's no enemy as powerful as you because you know all your weaknesses, you know all your deficiencies. And so I wanted to showcase that in the film, where the lead role is facing different versions of himself. When you look at a lot of people that don't achieve their dreams, a lot of the times it's because of them, because they've had multiple conversations with themselves about not doing things. It's not other people, it's you. Because you spend more time with you than anyone else. And so if that's the case, a lot of the failures means that, by definition, means it's you. Because you're having the conversations with yourself. So I wanted to show physical manifestation of that through an action movie where the lead role is facing different versions of himself.
It's a death match.
You're in a death match.
A death match?
A death match. Yeah.
Between different variants of yourself. Here, there's no beginning, no end.
We're all one. Everybody is nobody and nobody is everyone.
And cut.
Nowadays, man, a lot of films don't have replay value because there's just one storyline happening. But when you have multiple subplots happening at the same time, it will create that excitement for the viewer to go back and watch the film. So I always try to, that's the most important aspect of storytelling for me. How are you able to create twists and turns and subplots whilst not intervening too much with the main plot? Whenever I write a movie, I always have the ending in mind because it gives me a pathway to get somewhere. So once I have the ending, then I can start creating the movie. So I always write my movies from ending to beginning. With this particular movie, I didn't change the ending, but others, I do, you know what I mean? Because I always despite how stupid this sounds, I don't like spoiling the movie for myself. So I'll have like a template ending, and then when I've finished writing the script from beginning to end, I'll change the ending. But for this film, I already had the ending in mind. Yeah, so there's a scene where I'm running off of a platform and I do like a jump side kick. So I jump off the platform and do a side kick in the air to shout out to Gyro, one of the other actors on the film. And we made that on the spot, you know, so I was proud of that, man. I felt like Jet Li. I'm not gonna lie, man, you know, Black Jet Li, so I felt good, man. So,
Action.
So there was a scene, without spoiling the film, this is in regards to one of the main characters' deaths. So I was supposed to jump off of a platform that was 13 feet tall and attack him with a weapon, I'm not gonna spoil it, and then kill him. But the thing is, at this point in time, I had already ripped my hamstring. I came into filming with a ripped hamstring. The other one was pulled. I took 2 tablets, 2 painkillers, and a coffee just to keep me from fainting. I said, dude, I'm not doing that, man. So I ended up not jumping from that 13 feet platform. Yeah, they wanted me to do some crazy WWE turnbuckle, you know, WrestleMania shit. I said, nah, man, I can't do it. I ripped my hamstring and I pulled another. So yeah, we had to take that scene out. And there was another challenging scene where we were doing a tornado kick and then the stunt coordinator's like, no, do it like this. He's a Spanish guy, his name is Gyro, shout out to Gyro. But Gyro doesn't know this. He kept telling me, no, the form is wrong. But I'm like, what the He doesn't understand I have a pulled hamstring and a ripped one. And I'm trying to, you know, do the kick and then spin and then kick. I can't do it because my hamstring is ripped.
Begin that angle, which you there.
I study a lot of hypnosis. I read quite a few hypnosis-based books. One is called Hypnotherapy, and I understand that when it comes to acting, you place somebody in a form of hypnosis. So when somebody goes to watch a film, they watch a film and disregarding the disbelief of the fact that what they're seeing on the camera is not real. That's a form of hypnosis. So when it comes to selecting actors, I try to figure out how long they're able to keep me in that hypnotic trance for before I start not believing what they're trying to showcase to me on a self-tape or on a camera. And so that's how I choose. For instance, if an actor's able to keep me in for only 30 seconds compared to someone that's able to keep me in for a minute in that hypnotic trance, I'll usually just go for the person that's able to keep me in for a minute. But there's other factors, facial expression, timing, inflection, movement, the ability to display emotion. So there's a few things, but those are just a few. When you're able to do things and not be embarrassed to do it, it loosens you up, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, I don't care, man. I'll scream, I'll sing, I'll rap on set, I don't care, you know what I mean? And I think that will give you that confidence to then go and act out the role that you have.
What the hell is going on? What is this place? How did I fight like that? Why you me?
I believe when it comes to acting, it's an energy exchange, energy circulation, and if you try and stop that energy and stop the circulation of that energy, then the spirit of the set or the spirit of the actual scene will die off. And people are not stupid. The audience are not stupid. They'll watch it on camera and they can see that the energy is dead. I don't know if you'll believe me, but I've experienced out-of-body experiences. A lot of the times I'm able to see myself outside of myself. And at times, man, I see like different dimensions, but I'm able to see different forces outside of myself. You can call me crazy, I don't care, you know what I mean? Because I know you're gonna be comments, oh, Cameron's on some type of drugs, some narcotics. I ain't on no narcotics, I'm not on any drugs. People have done astral projections before, so it's not like I'm creating something new. So let's stop that right there, okay? All right, so what I wanted to show in the film is that same same concept with being out of body experience, with the lead character going to a different dimension, fighting different versions of himself, because I've seen different versions of myself through the out of body experience. So I wanted to show that, and that's why I got the inspiration to do Silent War. So yeah, man, you can say what you want in the comments. I'm sober, I train all the time, I do martial arts. I'm not on any type of drugs, dude, so you guys can say what you want. Yeah, I'm sober, dude. It was an enjoyable time on set. We had everyone working cohesively as a team. There was a lot of issues, like in regards to the timing. We were behind time. I didn't have a break, but we all came together to do great things. Honestly, when you look at the film, one thing you'll notice is there's a lot of martial artists in the film, and each of them have their own distinctive style. Marco's fighting style is more kung fu based, but he knows how to do a lot of taekwondo. Whereas Gyro, who's playing the monster, the war creature with the white paint on his face, his is more Wing Chun, but he knows taekwondo too. And then Martin, who you see with the bald head, from my understanding, he does a lot of MMA, mixed martial. He was a fighter before. I think Marco was a fighter too. And I'm also gonna be in fights soon as well. So, you know, I've had one boxing fight, I drew. So I'm still undefeated. So once I go back in the ring, I'm still undefeated until somebody defeats me. And the only person that could defeat me is God. So let's stop that there. So, but it was an enjoyable time on set. The thing is, I was thrown on my back a lot, and so that kind of messed up my back. When people watch a movie, they just see, if it's a quick action sequence, they see a kick, a punch, and a takedown. But what they don't understand is that when someone gets taken down on the floor that one time, when we're filming, that happens almost 30 times. And we didn't bring any safety mats. So a lot of the times, imagine I'm being thrown on my back on concrete, then I have to go back to directing, and then I have to do the dialogue scenes, then I have to change. So it was stressful, man, and that concrete is unforgiving, I'm telling you. Directing, acting, martial arts are 3 different complete skill sets. And when you're a director, you're almost like a father figure because you're moving actors around accordingly. You know, you're telling them where to stay, where to move, what emotion to show, what facial expression. Acting is emotion-based, you're getting in tune with your emotions, you're working off of the other actor. Martial arts is fight-based. And you have to be able to go in between each of them. When you're in director mode, you have to be able to give instructions quick. But when you're an actor, and whilst you're directing and acting, when you're acting now, you have to remove that ego. Because a lot of the times when it comes to directing, it's ego-based. So when you're directing and acting, when you start going back into actor mode, you have to completely rid yourself of that ego and focus on the scene. It's a bit difficult. It's a bit difficult to do, but it's possible. So we were filming from 8 a.m. till 10 p.m. But somewhere around 2 p.m, we started going behind with filming, like 2 hours behind. So we had a whole 3 hours of action script that we needed to film, but we were 2 hours behind, so we only had like an hour left of that time. So what we did is, and you'll see in the film, I think from the 11th minute mark till the 16th minute mark, there's a lot of fight sequences, but all of that are freestyles because we came up with that in the space of like 30 minutes. So we came up with it and we just did it. So a lot of the fight sequences, especially in the middle, a lot of the fight sequences were sequences that we made on the spot on set. So even though I was upset that we were behind with time, if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't have come up with something special. And there's a bit where Marco, shout out to Marco, he holds my arm out and he does a kick over my arm and then underneath my arm into my chest. But we didn't have that in the script. That was just something we just decided to came up with. More particularly, he came up with. So yeah, man, shout out to Marco for that. Truth be told, I've only been doing martial arts for 2 years. But I've always, because even when I was younger, I was doing boxing, I've been in a fight before. So boxing, the transition from boxing and martial arts wasn't really a thing. But I mean, who hasn't been a fan of martial arts when you're younger? Everyone saw Jackie Chan do his thing with his movies back in the day. But I've always been a advocate of pushing your body to limits that it can't go. And I always said that I always wanted to push my body to a point where it will break down. So no matter what, I want to be able to get my body to that point where there's no more limits on my body. So that's why I chose martial arts. And martial arts, the thing is, I'm not gonna lie, man, as much as I love boxing, man, to me, a lot of the time boxing is boring, dude, because it's like left hook, right jab, uppercut, and it's just like 4 or 5 moves and then you're weaving and then you're sidestepping. But martial arts, you're doing tornado kicks, you're doing side kicks, you're doing sweeping kicks, you're doing jump side kicks, you're doing windmills, you're doing 720 degrees tornado tips, you can do backflips with it, you can do front flips. There's so much creative shit, and I'm a creative dude, so, and you know, and then it's not even just that, that's Taekwondo. You got Wing Chun, you got Wing Chun, you got Krav Maga, you've got Jiu-Jitsu, you've got karate, you've got Kung Fu, you've got all kinds of martial arts styles. And so because of that, there's a limitless amount of skills and combinations you can do. So yeah, I started getting into filmmaking, I'd say roughly 2018. But I learned filmmaking, the art of filmmaking, from somebody called Lawrence Brown. He taught me how to film, direct, do lighting, choose the best location, writing the script, and doing like 9 jobs at once on set. So that's why I'm able to direct, act, do multiple things on set, because of learning from Lawrence Brown. A couple of my favorite directors would be people like George Lucas, Martin Scorsese, and even though there's one who's not a director, but he has one of the biggest mangas on the planet, which is Ichiro Oda. The guy that made, he made Who Cloned Tyrone? I don't know his name, but he's one of my favorites too, and Jordan Peele. My favorite TV genre, I would say, it would be anime, man. I'll keep it honest, man. A lot of like the Western TV shows are trash, man. But if I'm talking about like back in the day, it will be sort of like horror thriller. So one of my favorites is like Angel, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. You know what I mean, things like that. So that'll be one of my favorite TV series. It's my favorite film. Funnily enough, one of my favorite films of all time is I, Robot. And this was like when it first came out. So now everyone is, because everyone's seeing AI, and in China, you know, there's robots everywhere. So now everyone is kind of on game. But I watched that film early 2000s and I said, what if the world turns out like this? I haven't changed, but I do make music. I'm a musician first and foremost. Like I rap, sing, produce. I believe every artist is a film director, because when you write a verse, when you make a song, you're creating a story. You're creating a story. You're creating the descriptive piece where somebody can imagine what you're talking about. And I believe filmmaking is making a song. And so seeing that, I always knew that there will be a trend where people who are making music would have to be making films eventually. And so, yeah, man, I just really wanted to, and I've always been I usually go to the cinema, but when I was younger, I would watch films and I would try and recreate the scene and look at errors that are in the scene. Like, for instance, like if an actor, he misses his timing, I'm like, no, we need to change the scene here. So I'll be remixing scenes while I'm watching the film. But yeah, man, and I do the same thing with music. When I listen to music, I'm remixing the song in my head to make it better. And so, yeah, I think music and film is the same. It's just different outlets, but you're creating the same product. Yes, I want to make an AI horror film. Yeah, man, I had a concept. It's not fleshed out, but, you know, the concept is, you know, the AI, you know, comes in contact with this guy at work, you know, eventually it leads into a Masonic lounge, a lodge, and it goes crazy off of there. So yeah, I want to create an AI horror film. And I got the script, man. I think it's a banger, man. And I also want to create a film about hypnosis too, about an artist who's able to hypnotize. But I'm just gonna leave it there, because some of you, listen, man, some of you are thieves, man. You still stealing ideas, so I'm not really gonna go too deep into it. But yeah, definitely an AI horror film.
More. Yeah. One take two. All right. 3, 2, 1, action. And cut.
We have 2 projects. One's called Against All Odds, which is a boxing film. It's more of a dream sequence, but there is a boxing fight in the film. And it's been played by my brother, he's the lead actor. He's my blood brother, and he's gonna be pro one day, and he's gonna win the world championship. So watch out for him. You know, so whoever's champion, I don't know who's champion right now. I think it's Usyk. So yeah, whoever's got the belt needs to worry, because he's coming for it. So that's number 1. Number 2, we have Choose to Win, which is a whole drama, but it's got AI in it. So, and that one's really good, because the audience can choose the decisions of the actors. But I'm not gonna spoil it too much. It's an interactive movie. But yeah,